Loving, caring, and peaceful English people, please subscribe, like, and share my videos on revenge, because your kindness keeps this channel alive. Now, let's dive into today's masterpiece revenge story. What if someone took credit for the most important work of your career, and you had to sit there while people believed the lie? That happened to me. For years, an ex-employee strutted around pretending he was the mastermind behind a company turnaround I had built from scratch. I said nothing, but nearly a decade later, Karma called me directly, and this time, the truth cost him the job he wanted most. If you've ever had someone steal credit for your hard work, hit like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments how you handled it, because trust me, you're not the only one. Around 10 years ago, I was hired to revive a company that had nearly collapsed. From 50 employees, they'd been reduced to just 3. It was bleak. The business, extremely specialized. High precision, small batch parts that demanded expertise and discipline. For 2 years, I lived and breathed that company. I cut out wasteful steps, invested in technology, and rebuilt the workflow from the ground up. By the end, we weren't just surviving, we were thriving. $10 million in revenue and a benchmark of $100,000 profit per employee going to the parent company. It wasn't flashy, it was hard, unglamorous work, but it worked. In that rebuilding stage, I hired Bob. He wasn't terrible, he had a few decent skills. But let's be honest, he wasn't great either. And in an operation as lean and ambitious as ours, okay wasn't enough. So after 2 years, I sat Bob down. I told him straight, "You've got 2 months to find another job. I'll give you a strong reference for the things you're good at, but I won't sugarcoat the things you're bad at." He nodded. No tantrum, no drama. He kept up the bare minimum until he landed a new role at a partner company. He didn't even use me as a reference. Fine. Good for Bob, I thought. Let him move on. Fast forward a few years. I fly out to visit that very partner company, and who's there to greet me? Bob. We shake hands, exchange small talk, and then my main contact at the company, Charlie, drops the bomb. "You know, you were lucky to have Bob. He really transformed things, really saved the place, got us out of a mess." My jaw nearly hit the floor. Bob? The same Bob who couldn't keep pace, who I practically pushed out the door? The same Bob whose work I had to constantly fix. Charlie threw me a crumb, adding, "Well, Aguy the Hill helped a little." A little. I smiled politely, forced myself to say, "I'm glad Bob found a good fit." Inside, I was furious. Years of my blood, sweat, and vision, reduced to a footnote. But I swallowed it. I didn't correct Charlie. I didn't call Bob out. I walked away with that anger burning like an ember. Time rolled on. I eventually left the company for new adventures. The business held steady through tough times like COVID. I kept in touch with the new general manager I'd hired, a good leader I trusted. And Bob? He kept floating around. I bumped into him a few times, all performative smiles and shallow small talk. I let it slide. Then the call came. Bob had lost his job. Somehow he'd lasted longer than I expected. But now he was applying for a prestigious role at my former company. The GM, who hadn't overlapped with Bob, called me for a reference. "He's claiming he was responsible for the transformation here," the GM said. "Honestly, we're ready to hire him. Just wanted to confirm." This was it. The ember flared into fire. I told the truth. Calm, clear, with details. Who had done the real work, who hadn't, and how Bob had exaggerated every single thing. Bob didn't get the job. 10 years after he tried to steal my legacy, karma arrived. Not in anger, not in some grand showdown, but in a quiet phone call. The truth finally caught up. Sometimes revenge doesn't come when you want it. It doesn't come loudly or dramatically. But when the right moment finally arrives, years later, with one decisive truth, it lands perfectly. Bob stole credit for my work. In the end, he paid the price with the job he wanted most. Have you ever had someone steal your credit, only for karma to catch up later? Share your story in the comments. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share this video, because the best revenge stories are always worth telling.